Hello, is this on? All right. Hello, EUSD! Hello? Hello? Okay, let's try that again, because I can barely hear you. Let's hear you shout! Hello, EUSD! There you go. That's how we do it. We are students from Conway Academy of Expeditionary Learning, and we are proud to be part of the EUSD family. I'm Xander, and I'm in 6th grade.
I'm Stella, and I'm in 5th grade.
I'm Alejandra, and I'm in 4th grade.
I'm Olive, and I'm a 6th grader.
I'm Anthony, and I'm in 4th grade.
And my name is Dulce, in 5th grade.
And welcome to the
EUSD
Kickoff!
Now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Wait. I'll stand up. Okay.
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Get ready, Anthony. You got this.
Welcome back to the 2023-2024 school year. And we hope you are ready to rock! Because we have something in store for you to get your mind and body ready for an outstanding year!
Yes, sir!
You got this! Thanks, Anthony, for showing us some awesome moves. How many of you are familiar with this music? We thought so, but we have a special chant we put together to bring the EUSD spirit alive.
And speaking of that chant, we are going to model it for you right now. 5, 6, 7, 8.
We are EUSD! We are EUSD! We are EUSD!
One more time.
We are EUSD!
And now, to get you all engaged in this chant, we are going to divide you up into 2 groups, right down the middle here. This side will follow me, Anthony, and Dulce.
And all the beautiful people on this side is gonna follow me, Stella, and Alejandro. When we point to you, we want you to shout the letters EU. Ready? On the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. EU!
Come on! I know you can do better than that! Let's use our outside voice! Ready? Ready? Shout!
EU!
All right, it's our side's turn now. When I point to you, you shout the letters SD. Ready? SD! Come on, we're not in the library. SD!
And now, get ready. Stand up. Get on your feet and stomp to the beat with us. All Now, please join us in welcoming our superintendent.
He's the captain of our ship. He's navigating our educational trip. And he's super hip. Dr.
Thank you. Awesome. Good job. Wow. This is great. Wow. Got to find my mark. Well, welcome. Welcome to the annual 23-24 school year. This is fantastic. You know, the secret is you bring a bunch of kids in, either puppies or beautiful kids, and you've got a great success. So let's give another round of applause to our kids. No, thank you all for being here. We really are excited to showcase what we are about, because this is a USD, and I want to show you all the wonderful things that are happening each and every day, and I want to challenge us to keep going. But first, I'd like to introduce our board members who have been so supportive in all the work that we've been doing, especially in the Focus for the Arts. So first off, we have President Mark Olson, and they are seated in the box up there. Vice President Frank Houston, who could not be with us today, but sends his welcome. Clerk of the Board, Mrs. Joan Gardner, with us today. Member Doug Paulson, who also has an in service today, but will be joining us later. And member Zesty Harper with us today. So as everything, it begins with the vision to actualize the unlimited potential of every learner. That has been our vision. And what I want to show you today that this is us. This vision is being actualized each and every day in your classrooms, in your fields, in everything that we do. This is us. So as usual, it begins with the focus goals that serve as anchors to what we're all about. And the board has been steadfast in making sure that we are headed in the right direction. And those focus goals are increase student achievement, create and sustain a positive school culture, create a safe and secure environment, and above all, remain fiscally solvent. So these focus goals have been with us. But what we are about, and we're going into this next chapter, is about really identifying what do we mean by student achievement? What is it that we're all about? It's not just about one single measurement, but there's a lot that goes into a fully well-rounded student. So what is it that we're trying to accomplish here in EUSD? And so what I want to show you is who we are about. Like, we are the district. You are the district that were among the first to come back for in-person instruction during probably the worst pandemic that we will ever experience. But everyone here rose to that challenge. This is us. This is who we are. Closed on Friday, Friday the 13th. Back open. It was Friday the 13th. Remember it. Remember it well. But that following Monday, guess what? You were out there serving lunches to our community, to our students. This is us. And so all that we accomplished through the work of the design team, I knew we were onto something. And so what I did is all of last year and the year before, the design team has been working on co-creating, co-designing the district that we want to work in. That is our life's work of what do we want to create. If we're not happy with something, let's be part of the solution and design something together, because that's who we are. And through the work of the design team, we identified some key markers. We have this framework for the future that I've been slowly letting you know about. And this is the year we're going to unveil it, and we're going to start working towards this, because this is who we are. So it begins with, we've identified 6 characteristics, 6 learner profile of what our EUSD student is. Here are our outcomes. A personalized and empowered learner, an empathetic collaborator. We want our students to be ethical scholars, effective communicators, as you saw today, this morning, critical thinkers, and creative problem solvers. See, if we put measurements to each one of these, now we have defined what student achievement is. Because if you tell me what the students you just saw are not, isn't that achievement? Haven't we achieved something great? And so what I want to do this morning is show you how we can do this. Because it's about our learning model, which is also part of the framework. And what we've said is, we want, if we personalize the education, that's one of the first tenets, there are 4, personalization. And we're doing this already. It's already who we are. You have kids who are setting benchmarks for themselves, setting goals for themselves, tracking how many books they're reading, how many AR points that they're getting, tracking their iReady scores, setting goals for themselves. This is who we are. This is us. We want our learning to be competency-based, which means let's start with the standard. We want our students to know. We got to be crystal clear about what do we want them to know, and then we teach them. We want our learning to be authentic experiences. These students that you saw today and you're going to see have been practicing for an authentic experience, talking to over 1,500 people. I think we're at 1,600 now. That is authentic, creating those experiences that are true in real life. And then number 4, inclusive and equitable, making sure that the students, it's not just about sharing. It's about engaging with each other, sharing ideas, learning from one another. And it's about all of us. We all need to be doing that as well. So that is our learning model. But rather than me tell you about it, let me show you. This is us. So I'm going to bring onto the stage the Allegro Strings. The Allegro Strings program is a partnership between the Civic Youth Orchestra, the Gene Wills String Program, and the Escondido Charitable Foundation. The program offers free violin lessons to our EUSD 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students who apply for this program. And students are provided a violin and music at no cost. I had a chance to meet Mr. Wills. Mr. Wills is here, Mr. Ben Wills is here, and he shared a story about a student who's in the program that goes to bed cuddling their violin. Please welcome to the stage, under the direction of Carla Contreras, Allegro Strings.
Our first song is Irish Fiddle Tune.
press buttons. Our last song is Boy and Cabbage.
Let's give them another. That's fantastic. Thank you. Wow, thank you. This is us. Talk about authentic learning experience. You think these kids are empowered? And the critical thinking that it takes to maneuver the strings, because it's a very complicated instrument, but how beautiful they sound. This is us. So I want to show you who else we are. So about 2013, 2014, we challenged a group of people to co-design and co-create some awesome learning experiences. So coming to my little living room here, we have Tina Meglich, principal of Conway, and Joanne Fox. She's our Now, Joanne Fox is now our newest project specialist in charge of our expanded learning program, but she was also a member both are members of the design team. Joanne was also one of the school designers of Quantum Academy. So, okay, so thank you for coming. So, Tina, you've been at Conway now for how many years?
8 years.
8 years. And something recently happened with, you guys got full accreditation through the Expeditionary Learning Program. So that was how many years undertaking?
About 8 years.
8 years, right. So tell us, what was it like those initial stages? Because, you know, as you look at what we're trying to launch, like this personalization, ensuring that there's authentic experiences, What is that like in comparison to what we're trying to do?
Well, when I really look back and think about those early years, we have to also remember that Conway was built in 1966, so that school was there for a very long time. But as we know, and we look back at Conway's story, Conway at that time was the lowest performing school in the district. But the teachers had this belief and they had this fire that we could do better. Those early years, it was messy. And let me tell you, there was a lot of mistakes that were happening. But it was through those mistakes and through that failure that it leads to success. That was part of the process. There was a real clear focus to the work that needed to happen. In fact, those early years, that first year, we had a different model. We normally, our motto, if you all know, and I'm sure you've heard it, is we are crew, not passengers, and we truly believe that we are crew, not passengers. But that year, we also believed that we had to simplify to unify. And what did that mean for us is we needed a very crystal clear focus as to what do we need to focus on right now. And we knew what the vision was because we created that vision together that first year. And so that was set for us. And then there were a couple of real focus areas, and that was relational character development in our students. It was learning targets and really identifying what it is that our students are going to be learning, and extended discourse. What does that look like? That means students are able to articulate their learning, and we are still constantly working on that. And so, yes, those early years were about a lot of mistakes, and we continued to make mistakes. It was also the scariest thing that we had ever done for all of us.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tina. I'm going to go to you, Joanne. You were also part of, you along with Colin Handel, shout out to you out there. I mean, the challenge was, we hired both you and Colin and the task was design a school that you would want to work in, that you would want to send your own kids to. So tell us about those early years.
Yeah, I think we were in a little bit of a different position from Conway in that we didn't have students yet, a school building yet. So we were really ideating from scratch. But I think there were two key things that really helped us be successful in starting up something new. And the first thing was being given permission to be creative and innovative and really think what is best for our students. And the second thing that Colin, Ted Kirkbride, Patty Boswick, Kathy Shirley, a bunch of us in that early ideating phase really solidly set out our vision and the values that we wanted our students to embody by the time they left our school in 8th grade, which amazingly highly aligns to what the design team has come up with the learner profile and the learning experiences we want students to have. So those were the two key things for us.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back to, thank you, Joanne. That's, when we look at Empowered Learner, Tina, what does that look like at Conway?
I know I have to make this short because I could really talk about what that looks like. What that looks like at Conway, an empowered learner is someone, it's a learner that can lead their own learning. But what does that really mean? That really means that a student can articulate, and I mentioned that earlier, our students need to be able to articulate what they are learning. They need to understand what is the purpose, what is the why behind that learning, and how are they sharing it. If you walk onto Conway's campus and you visit our classrooms, you are going to then be greeted by greeters. So students are going to greet you. They will let you know what is happening in the classroom. You can go up to any student and ask a student, what is it that they are learning? And please share with me. You will also hear student-led conferences are a part of what happens at Conway. These happen twice a year, and this is an opportunity for a student to really share their learning through their portfolio and through them documenting their learning. They set goals, they're able to reflect on those goals, and they're able to progress monitor that progress towards those goals. This starts with our kinder students, and kinder students can, and they do, lead their own conferences. And so by the springtime, it is the most magical thing to walk into a kinder classroom and you experience what student-led conferences and what an empowered learner looks like at Conway. We have a lot of other structures at Conway that provides those opportunities for students through our expeditions. They look for those problems within our society, and they have, let me tell you, a lot of incredible ideas to solve a lot of those problems. And through their expeditionary learning work, they come up with some really creative solutions. If I have just a quick minute, I want to tell a quick story because I know I talk a lot, but I have just a quick story I need to share because it's really about us tapping into the genius of our students, and every student comes with that genius, and it just takes a little bit of uncovering to really discover what is that genius. And for a lot of kids, we know what it is, but for others, they might not yet. And so it is so important that we provide those opportunities for our students to discover that genius. Two of the students that welcomed you today 2 years ago didn't even want to be a student greeter in the classroom. They did not want to talk to adults or anyone else at that time. And it was through these opportunities and really empowering our learners to discover that unlimited potential that they have, that you saw what they were able to do today. And two of them, a young man and a young lady, and I won't name them, opened up our show today. That's an empowered learner.
So Joanne, this next question is for you, and it's about authentic learning experiences. You've been our PBL coach, project-based learning coach for a few years. What does that look like, creating authentic learning experiences?
If you've talked to me in the last couple of years, you know I can talk a lot about it too, so I'll try to keep it simple. When we were planning learning experiences at Quantum Academy, we wanted to align to that vision, we wanted to align to the values, and watching what the teachers at Quantum Academy were able to do with this idea of creating a place where students are not only mastering content standards, but also learning how those standards will help them and making an impact on the community around them. So designing learning experiences that are authentic to the students' lives so that they know what they're learning and reading and writing and math has an impact on what they're going to do in the world. And that impact can begin today. And I really like that idea of tapping into that genius, because when we design learning experiences for students to shine in many different ways, we get to see our students master standards in a different way. And it's really important to be considering all of these experiences beyond the classroom that help them master standards in the classroom.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. We're going to do more expanded interview with both of these. We want to delve deep and capture the Conway story. We want to go back and capture the Quantum Academy story so that we can go back and reference these, because they're amazing stories, and thank you so much for sharing just a little bit with us. So let's give them a hand. Thank you, too. Thanks. Yeah. No, thank you. All right, thanks. So the next performance I'm going to bring out really occurred as a result of our Expanded Learning Opportunities program. You saw that last year, that just exploded, where we wanted to truly engage with some funding by the state. It's really challenging us to create a 9-hour day. And so what did we do? We created these learning experiences for our kids, where we challenged all the students and challenged all the staff. What is your passion? What would you love to teach in the after-school programs? And so what happened as a result of this, we had a few schools that benefited greatly, this personalization. Because this whole initiative is not about creating another Conway or creating an identical Quantum Academy. It's about personalizing it to your community, to your school, to your passions. And so the next group that I'd like to bring out is our Ballet Folklorico group. The Ballet Folklorico group is under the direction of Tradición Mexicana USA Dance Company, teaching dance at FAR for over 7 years. And most recently, due to our expanded learning opportunities, They are now at Pioneer, Lincoln, and Glenview. Please welcome to the stage, Ballet Folklorico.
¡Hola, Quincy! ¡Zapatela bonito! ¡Ajá! ¡Seguro que sí! ¡Vamos al chalajo! ¡Ajá!
This is us. Providing these amazing experiences truly engage students. And maybe they will want to stay through the rest of the day and stay for their after-school enrichment program. It'll engage them. That's what sports does to a lot of kids as well. But don't tell me there's not a lot of learning that goes into the arts. So next up to the stage, I want to invite Mr. Jesus Sandoval. He's a fifth grade dual language program teacher at Farr Elementary School. Thanks. Come on in. All right, Mr. Sandoval, thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Sure. All right, so when we were talking earlier, I thought of you for this segment immediately because when I was in your classroom, there was a time that I walked in and you were teaching a math lesson. And I stayed a little bit longer than usual because I was watching you teach a small group. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So you were actually, what was it that it was math, right?
Yeah, I was teaching fractions actually, like multiplying and dividing fractions.
Yes, multiplying and dividing fractions. That was really complex work. And why I stayed is because I noticed the kids were going step by step, and it's like, are you finished? No. Next step, and then are you finished? And I was thinking, how did you prepare for that?
Well, the first thing I do is I meet with my grade level team, and we actually look at the whole module and discuss strategies to meet the objectives and the standards. We were actually able to do that because we were part of the TLC with Mr. Hernandez and Mrs. Hernandez. And then after that, before actually I teach a lesson, I go back to the curriculum again, and I look at the materials that I'm gonna have to use. And I try to find at least 2 or 3 strategies to teach the material, because sometimes what a group understands, the other group doesn't understand that, so I have to be able to modify the lesson on the spot if I have to. That's something I usually do. And also, something that helps me though, is that I already taught second, third, and fourth. Right. So I'm able to use strategies from those grades in fifth grade as well. because I already know that students know those strategies.
So really, that's awesome. And that's why I stayed in your classroom, because it's just complicated work. And you really have to understand what the tasks that they're asking the students to complete. And so have you heard of the elementary enrichment wheel that we're about to launch this school year?
Yes, I think it's going to be great. Honestly, in my opinion.
So what that is can you explain to the audience what that is?
Yeah, because, well, we're going to have time for the students to do extra activities that they usually don't get to do, and which I think is going to help them come to school more often. Right. And it's actually going to give more time for the teachers to work as a team, which is what helped us too during math. So.
Yeah, no,
and I think that's what we've been asking the whole time, more time to prepare.
And that's the key, right? Collaboration. Mm-hmm. Really learning amongst each other and delving deep into what the curriculum's all about, right? So I've noticed also when I've been at your school and several other schools that there is this teamwork that is happening. So how did the TLCs go at FAR? Like, how did that?
Yeah, like we mentioned before, like with Dr. Hernandez and Mrs. Hernandez.
Shout out to Mr.
Yeah. Okay, they would show up to...
Amazing coach.
Yeah, they would come on Thursdays to meet with our team. And we might as well, it's Mr. Herman, Ms. Perez, and Mrs. Ramirez. So shout out to them too.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, we will meet and we will discuss the standards, the objectives, and come up with strategies. But we will also plan out the pre-assessments and the post-assessments and the topic quizzes in between so that we could have data and plan to support our students. So if a student's struggling, as a team, we'll come up with ideas to help them out. But also, if something was working, we would use those strategies in all of our classrooms.
That's awesome. So now, modeled after our PE program, which is every week, we will now have every week time for our elementary teachers to plan, co-create, co-design lessons for our students. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. You are exceptional, and so is your team. Appreciate it. Again, this is us. This is what we're all about, collaboration. We work together to figure things out. And so I'm going to bring back now onto the stage another group, and this is actually a great story. And I want to go in deeper with them because we're going to invite the coaches in a little bit while, but I want to show you and invite to the stage the Ignite dance team. This is an EUSD program founded the fall of 2013. Since that time, Ignite has gone on to win 5 national championships. Titles in jazz, hip-hop, contemporary, and lyric. Welcome to the stage, Ignite Dance Team.
Underneath the city lights, there is a world few know about, where rules don't apply, no, and you can't keep a good girl down. Looking for a good time, gonna make that, shake that money on a dime. Don't be a sugar daddy, she can work it just fine. Up on the table, she'll be dancing all night. Baby, don't just come to life. Under the spotlight, all the girls wanna fall in line. We say, hey, here come the ladies, about to give a little show. Hey, here go the boys, you gotta show a little more. Won't let you rest. Get it up, this is not a test. Get it up, gotta give me your best. So get it up, show me how you possess. Get it up, won't let you rest. Get it up, this is not a test. Get it up, gotta give me your best. So get it up, show me how you possess. Okay, girls, let's show them how it's done. It ain't over till we say, and we've only just begun. Let me hear you say, yeah.
Please welcome to the stage Jennifer Robbins and Veronica Casanova, the coaches of Ignite's dance team. Wow. So Jennifer Robbins is a special ed teacher at Rose Elementary, and Veronica Casanova is the family liaison at Rose as well. Wow. Your kids are amazing. So I want to get a sense for the audience to realize what Ignite really is, because this is much more than dancing. This is kind of like a passion project. So how did this begin?
So we started 10 years ago, and we saw a need. Ignite predates a lot of the amazing programs we have currently. And Jennifer and I are both experienced in performance art, and so we came together and we said, hey, let's just start something for the kids to thrive and to have that experience of performance and being able to have that experience of just being on stage and being seen outside of the classroom as well.
That's awesome. Now I noticed, how do students get involved in dance? Because those are not elementary students.
Some of them have been with us, though, since elementary school. So a lot of them are like fourth grade. And then as soon as they go to middle school, which is basically Mission, and we have some from Limitless. Yeah, we have a bunch from all over the place. But then they stay active in it, and they really want to participate and come back. And so they perform for us.
Yeah, we welcome the kids back whenever they do want to come back. And a lot of our kids, they do come into the program with no dance experience, no performance experience, and so it's so magical to see what they can achieve and what they can do when they come into a sphere where we believe in them and they have that confidence and they really do become empowered. And so it's just so amazing to see, even for us.
It is very amazing to see. Now, I've heard this story before about like one of their championships. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so the first time we went into the competition sphere, with no budget and no money and whatever we could scrounge up. But I have to say that we really had to anchor the program with, the belief of others. So shout out to like all of my Rose staff, our Rose family. They really, really came through for us, our PTA. But still it's limited funding, right? And so we had the odds stacked against us in the sense that, we didn't have that funding. Our kids had been dancing for maybe a year, and we were now entering an arena where the kids that are dancing and competing are, they come from studios and with money and all of that. So we won our first national title after COVID, and it was virtual. So that second year we qualified, and we were now in person. And so we get there, and again, limited budget, not the expensive costume. We only had one dance that year. And so now we're getting on the stage, and the girls are super excited. And then 3-4 counts in, the music just drops, complete audio fail. And if the music fails, it's the coach's responsibility. So there's no do-over. There's no like, oh, okay, we're going to do it again. No. But thanks to their confidence in themselves and their training and listening to Jennifer's, training and that as well, because she's experiencing competitions, they kept going. They did not miss a beat. And
it was funny because one of the girls, they came off the performance arena and they were crying, and it's very emotional for them, and so it's emotional for us as well. But one of the girls just said, Ms. Robbins, I listened to the music in my head. I heard you say, listen to the music in your head, and that's how they got through it, and they just completed the dance. It was very emotional for all of us.
Yeah, I was sobbing because, in my head I'm thinking, all the work to get here, and again, like, that feeling of, we're not bringing the best costumes, 2 dances. No, it was that one shot, and they scored a perfect score because they kept going. Wow. They didn't miss a beat.
That's a very inspirational story about, kind of the training that goes into it. Now I want to now go into it's not just about dance, is it? Can you tell us a story about the students as students?
So Jennifer and I, so the kids tell us that it's a second family for them. And she's mom and I'm dad. It is.
So I am the one that's really strict, and so I don't let them get away with it, but Miss Veronica lets them get away with everything.
I witnessed that in the back when they were rehearsing. Yeah.
Well, they're so cute, but no, yeah, so I have to hear from mom when, but yeah, it is. So it is a second family. What I love seeing is how we have different grade levels, and they all practice together in the space. And what's amazing is the friendships that they make, the connections. And to me, it's so inspiring because I know that with elementary, the fifth graders are so nervous going into middle school. And I just had a conversation with our fifth grader. I'm like, hey, are you nervous about middle school? He's like, no, because I already know so-and-so, I already know so-and-so. And it is much more than just dance. What I like is when we started designing the learner profiles, it talks about empowered learner, and it very much does empower them because now they have these points of reference for whatever challenge they may come across. And so that's great that they can learn that too. Those takeaways are like, well, for example, our second nationals is just past March. The girls that were there when the music dropped, they were nervous, and I said, look, the worst thing that could happen, you already did. You can do this. And then they're like, yeah, you know what, you're right. So, and then I think, Jennifer can speak to as far as academically what you've seen as far as students with unique learning needs.
Oh, absolutely. Like dance really helps with reading and reading comprehension, and it helps with just like you had said, just the confidence level. And it's nice to see that these kids, their academics went up, and all of their teachers in middle school were just very impressed by how much they did.
Wow, that is fantastic. That's phenomenal. We're gonna do another more in-depth interview with both of them because this is a very compelling story, and it's a passion project for both of you. So I think our kids are ready?
Yes.
Okay, so let's bring them out one more time. Ignite.
Las flores de esta ciudad no huelen a nada. ¿Por qué será? ¿Por qué será? Y todas las chicas son tan bonitas, tan plásticas. Flor de Sakura, flor de Sakura, ser una popstar nunca te dura. Flor de Sakura, flor de Sakura, no me da pena, me da ternura. No para siempre, pues ser una estrella y brillar. Vi a reírme cuando tenga 80 y miré para atrás. Nunca me ha dado miedo la risa de un loco. Más miedo me da el que miente o el que ríe poco. Si tienes 60 y te endiablas cuando una mujer frontea, es que no has aprendido nada, que tienes un problema. La que sabe, sabe que si estoy en esto es para romper. Y si me rompo con esto, pues me romperé. Y que solo hay riesgos si hay
not going to hit them. Thank you both. This is us. You saw today all the amazing things that we're already doing. I mean, that's so emotional. And you know, some people say, you know, we can't take this job too seriously, that love doesn't belong in our work, but I disagree. This is serious. We're changing lives. That's the only way to do it, is you reach the student. You find their passion. And guess what? You can use that as a vehicle, as an avenue to get them to read, to get them to do math. Because they need to see how they're going to utilize that. Even if it's to balance their checkbook for all the money they're going to make as artists, musicians. This is us. This is EUSD. You have the permission to be creative. Let's make this a great year. Thank you. Let's have a wonderful year.